Okay, so today we are going to see how to use and program the advanced triggers with the of course with the new products. They're available only with the product we've launched over the past weeks and months, which means at the moment the new DINA DR1, DINA DR2, and of course the DR1 Lite and DR2 Lite, and as well as the ESA U11. So they all use the new, what we call TCA, which is our new system for triggers. So let's start with the let's create a couple of scenes so we could then see the triggers. So I'm gonna add first some lights, let's say 10 lights like this, batch. Okay, let's put them like this. Then go to the selection and create some scenes. Okay, let's rename that one blackout. Okay, okay, so this is the blackout. Let's create now a full white. Okay, and I want a dynamic one so we can play with the let's go a dynamic, no, it doesn't matter. Okay, so when we go to the standalone tab, we can easily now create a compatible device, which is DR1, DR1 Lite, SR1, which is the same as the DR1 with the with the rack, the 19 inches rack version. This is something it's almost finished. We might have some stock over the next couple of weeks. It's basically the same product coming in a 19 inches rack. We have some customers that were asking about for this. They have been asking for this for a couple of years. So we've decided to this is the same product but different housing. Or let's try with the DR1 now. Add, there you go, and add all scene. So I've got my 3 scenes here. Let's do a comparison now with the stick D3 so you can see the difference. So I now have 2 controller configuration with the DINA 1 and with the stick 3. Let's save this. Okay. So with the old products, old generation, there is the possibility, of course, to set up some triggers, but they are done scene per scene. That means, for example, if you want that blackout scene to be triggered, let's say every day 9 p.m. so you select like for example or 22. Okay, every day. So now I have assigned a time trigger to that scene. You could also assign a port 1, and you can see here I have the port number 1 that will trigger the blackout scene, as well as a time calendar trigger. So this had to be done scene per scene. Now with the new technology, the new presentation of the triggers, this is linked not specifically to the scene but to the controller. Let's say, for example, you want to create a new trigger. That trigger could start eventually 2 scenes at the same time. That could be possible. Imagine you have one zone, let's say like the garden with the scene A and the living room with scene B. You want to have those 2 scenes to be started at the same time. You will have to create just one trigger and that trigger will send the information to both scenes. So to trigger the scene now, you don't need to select a scene. You can see that I cannot access to the trigger information here, but the controller. And when the controller is selected, you can see here triggers. So if you press this, it's almost like the same window. You have to first select the kind of trigger. A trigger is made of something that will trigger the trigger. I mean, this is stupid what I say, but this is I mean, something like an event. Let's say an event. Then a condition and an action. This is the minimum, but you can have several conditions and several actions. So for example, let's start with the time trigger. Imagine this is like the everyday blackout. This is just a text. I mean, there is this is just a label so you can find your trigger in future, but it doesn't affect the programming. So let's say you want so that trigger event, let's say for example 22 every day. Okay, so we can see here every day, well, 20 doesn't matter, but like, okay, so this is the event that will when the DINA, the controller, will look into the table and we see like okay, this is 22, I have to check that trigger and see what I have to do. And then you've got some actions. For example, imagine you want to start a scene. You have to select, there are like a lot of options. Start scene, you can select blackout here. I was saying you could start different scenes. This is possible like this. You can add or remove a new action. And conditions, again, you can leave it like this or add some conditions, which are, for example, let's say you don't want that scene to be called on, for example, if you would like to select a specific date and not a time, you have to select all day. So imagine you don't want that scene to be started at 22 on January the 1st for some reason. You just select this and press OK. And now that means you press, if you press here, you switch from if not to if. So to resume, the event is every day 10 p.m. If not January the 1st, start the scene blackout from the global area. Simple. Now imagine you want to add a new condition, so you press the button and say I don't want that scene to be started if, for example, you know that the fire alarm of the building is linked to the port number 1. You don't want that scene to be called if the fire alarm is on. No problem. If not, you select port and you press the 1. Port down 1. You could eventually do this differently and press if port is up. You see, I mean, there are like two ways to do that. It can be like it seems complicated, but there can be also some application where you need to operate like that. So if not, port down 1. So so again, at 22 every day, if we are not January the 1st and if the port number 1 is not closed, the controller will start the blackout scene. Very simple. Any questions so far? No? Okay, no question. So this is the basic, which is, I guess, like you'll do like 90% of the triggers with that. I mean, most of the time we're talking about time and port triggers to start a scene. But there are like a lot more advanced thing. for example, we can work with the audio. So imagine you want, for fountains, for example, there is a music or whatever, like playing, and you want that you have that music connected to the audio input of the DINA DR1. So you press audio bit, and you can, for example, see like for every beat you can, let's say, for example, scene. That is not what I wanted to do. You could start random scenes, for example, from the page. Imagine you have like 10 different scenes with simple steps, like just like 1 second scenes with different static colors. And every beat it will switch from scene to scene according to the music. That's something you could do. Next step in the scene. So this is what we can do with the dynamic. So now at every beat of the music, the controller will get into the scene and start a new beat. To do that, you have to make sure, of course, the scene is started before. So which means that when you are you have to switch the controller into a kind of audio mode. So that would be great, for example, if we are back to the programming, to have a kind of audio sequence, audio scene. So that scene is specifically for audio triggers. Like for example, if we do that, rename, I can call this audio. And if you want to jump from like colors to colors, you can like do, for example, basic block. Okay, you start with this one, and then you add different point, different color. Okay, there you go. And now if I come back here, I need to send the up. Okay, and if I open the trigger again, the best would be next step in the scene and select the audio, which means that now the controller will jump from step to step, so eventually from color to color according to the music. Can be useful eventually as well for residential, where you've got that controller to control the light, the pool lighting, for example, and for some reason the owner wants to have a audio mode for party. So I know we're not used to invite people at home at the moment, but one day maybe it will be possible. So you can have a party and with your friends and turn the audio mode to trigger the lights. So I don't know if this is the kind of application that fits your need, but this is something we have been. We had a controller like this in the past. It was called the StickKU1. We for somehow we thought it was not working perfectly, and we I mean the audio analyze was not perfect, so we decided to remove that option. And in fact we've had a lot of customers complaining as this. They were like using a lot that feature, especially pool manufacturers and fountains, pool and fountains. Okay, so we've seen the audio, we've seen the time triggers with the conditions. What do we have? We've got the possibility to as well pause, or you can have, like, for example, a push button. So let's say like port down, add. So imagine this is you've assigned a push button, so you can have something to let's go like pause. Okay, so this is port 2. Okay, down, and you can, for example, pause the scene. This is also possible. So there is a possibility to eventually like pause a scene with this button. You can stop all scenes, which means this is a blackout button as well. You can add a button somewhere in the building, like just a push button, and this is like the button to turn the lights off. No problem with that. You can do that with this. You can do blackout. You see, black off or toggle as well. Different ways to do it. I mean, call like a blackout scene, blackout the controller, which means like release every scene, or stop all scenes. Again, it will depend on the situation, and sometimes we have offered all those possibilities. At sometimes you don't know now what are the differences but somehow you can be on a specific location with trying to program something, and you say, okay, I know this is possible to do it like this. This is kind of workaround to do the same thing but in a different way because it works better in your situation. You can also control the speed. So, for example, imagine you've got the something here on the port 1. You could like assign a different speed to a scene. So you have like, for example, possibility to have like 2-3 buttons, slow, medium, fast, and change the speed of a dynamic scene. This is something that will be very useful when we will add here, like talking about the event, the possibility to use DALI controllers, DALI touch panel, for example. So you could have a DALI touch panel with a rotating button, and you will have the possibility to assign that rotating button to the dimmer intensity, and this way you can just dim the light using the DALI touch panel. It could also be done with DMX input at some point. This is also something we're gonna add in the future. For some reason you have like another DMX controller, and for like kind of conference room, for example, where sometimes you've got a main lighting desk for mostly for entertainment or live events, but they're both sending DMX, so you can have the output of the desk connected to the input of the DINA, and the operator will have the possibility to send that like a specific DMX channel to the DINA to reduce the intensity, for example, of the facade or whatever that is controlled with the DINA. So a lot of options. This is I can understand it's a lot of information, but so far I think with this new tool you can do whatever you want. Honestly, I don't think there's something you won't be able to do, and if at some point there is something you cannot do, because the system is very powerful, we'll always have the possibility to add some new possibilities within the software. Something that is important with those triggers is also the I guess we have removed that option. We will add some the possibility as well to change the order. At the moment when the controller looks at the table, it will go from top to the bottom, but for some reason you could be asking to by the lighting designer, for example, to add some priority between the different triggers. They almost do the same things, but you want to be have the priority, so we will offer the possibility to change the order. This is not done at the moment. This is something we need to add, and of course you've got the possibility as well to disable a one trigger, for example, just to avoid like deleting it. Just to want to not use it, not save it into the device. Okay, but the only triggers which are not compatible with this so far are LS Cloud. So the possibility to trigger the there is no possibility at the moment to combine LS Cloud events with this. You can see here there is no LS Cloud possibility. And the second one is UDP triggers. So at the moment there is no way to use our the UDP triggers and have them like included into the advanced triggers. This is something we're gonna have at some point. As let's say, for example, if you want to use like home automation system to trigger or building management system or whatever system like that does send RS-232 or Ethernet command, you will have the possibility to implement them into the triggers as well. So far this is not possible, which means that when you send a UDP information from your building management system, it will start a scene directly. So in fact the comments makes the I'll say the sentence. No, the commands, the UDP commands that you send includes the information required by the controller to either stop or start or pause or restart or resume or anything. It doesn't go through this this protocol, but we will add it too. So LS Cloud and UDP, they are not managed from the from that part of the software, but it will be coming. Okay, so I guess we are almost done with that. There is an important thing I want to show you. I've just finished the page. This is also the reason why I was a bit late. Because it's linked to the trigger also. Okay, I need to open this, and so this is the new product we're about to launch. So I don't know, do you see my screen now? I moved to our website because I don't know if I had selected the window only or the complete screen, the full screen. Okay, yeah. So this is basically a wall-mounted tablet. I mean, it's a screen, a touch panel. It's a tablet. It's based on a tablet, so it is based on Android. You don't have access to Android, but the operating system is Android. So we have developed our own operating system based on Android, and this way you don't need to create a Gmail account or Apple account for if you're using an iPad. You don't need the customer to go like download the app, blah blah blah, and all this stuff. It comes with the built-in preloaded applications, so there is nothing to do. Just connect it to the controller over Wi-Fi. So we have customized the Wi-Fi and RG45 as the product has both connection, RG45 and Wi-Fi. For some reason you can, I mean, there is one thing like if you can wire, it always works better. But for some reason, sometimes you don't have the wire connection, so you can use the Wi-Fi. So with that product, you will have the possibility to connect to the DINA, of course, eventually to a stick as well. We offer the possibility, and you can use one of the 3 pre-installed application, which is like ESA Pro, this one, which offers the possibility to create your own controller. You can add buttons, color wheel, and then assign them to the controller. Lightpad, which is basically a simple remote control. You've got a list of the nothing to program. I mean, you open the app and it shows you the available scenes on the connected controller, so nothing to do. And the last one, Arcolis, which is our on-site programming app. I know this product is more for remote control, but we've offered the possibility to load the Arcolis application in order to program the device should you want to do it. So I think that this is a very important product for the DINA. Like, imagine again, like conference room, you've got the controller, that control like all the lights into the building. You can add one touch panel for the room number 1, one for the room number 2, one let's say the main control room, and you can assign different zones to all those controllers. For example, the first one could have access only to the room A, the second one only to the room B, and so on. So it works a bit like a multiple access point with only one controller. Okay, so so this controller is wall mounted. I mean, very simple. You just need to there will be a data sheet soon, so you can see it's 7 inches, and I don't have the cost yet. I mean, I do have the cost, but I don't want to say it like on the webinar. So if you have any question, request later, just PM me, and I'll let you know the cost of the controller. According that we do have launched the production, so we should be able to deliver the first product like within a couple of weeks. I would say like mid-February or beginning of March. Okay, any other question or any question, either about the trigger or about the new tablet? Yep, I guess it is. According that you can control like connect a lot of tablet to the same controller. And we have worked a lot on the connection reliability. There is nothing more frustrating for this kind of tablet things. I mean, we all have this kind of thing at home when you have to restart the app. Sometimes it doesn't find the controller, so you have to load it again, then turn off, turn on. I mean, this is just a real pain in the ass. I shouldn't say that, but we always like we all have faced this kind of situation I'm sure in the past. What we've done here is whether you restart the controller for some reason, like you had to update the firmware or power was switched off or switch on again, the tablet and the app they connect like themselves automatically to the controller. I've done a test like a couple of times here. I have restarted the controller. I have do some firmware update, and every time I just had to press reload, and it was connected again without to go to a menu and this. Here, this is very simple. There is no menu. We have removed everything from Android. You only have access to the Wi-Fi settings, Ethernet settings, and eventually we offer the possibility to lock with a password. Any other question? And of course, no problem with updates. That was the other point. I didn't want customer to call, hey, come on, I have updated this. Here, nothing. If we for some reason launch a new version of the app, we'll send something like just simple file, connect over USB, and update the tablet. No need of internet connection with the customer, a Gmail account, or even like write your credit card details to be able to download even if it's a free app. I mean, this is crazy. So we've removed all this. So this was a big job. I know some customers, they will maybe need like a larger screen, like 10 inches. At the moment it's 7 only. I guess it does the job. Honestly, when you have like 10 buttons, you cover almost all the applications, and they fit perfectly the screen. So yeah, this is a good point. No updates. And it comes at a really decent price. I mean, compared to buying a tablet and the system to mount the tablet on the wall. which looks ugly most of the time. You have the power cable coming on the side. I mean, here nothing like this. It's perfectly integrated to the wall. Other question? Yes, no, yes, no. Great. Perfect then. So have a good evening. I'll make the video available on our YouTube channel as usual, and talk to you soon. I don't know yet what will be the next webinar. I need to work on that, but it will be, I think, more hardware, like a more like presentation of the new hardware, like the DR2 Lite, for example. DR2, like very specifically how to access the internal settings and stuff like that. Same for the DR1 as well, like using Hardware Manager. Have a great day, great evening now, and talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.